At first glance, the idea seems illogical. Why would people defend systems that clearly harm them? Systems that limit opportunity, create stress, or maintain inequality? Yet throughout history, this pattern appears again and again. Individuals often support structures that work against their own interests. This is not a sign of ignorance, and it is not simple manipulation. It is the result of deep psychological mechanisms that shape how humans seek safety, meaning, and stability. To understand this paradox, we must move beyond blame and examine how the mind responds to complexity, fear, and uncertainty. Systems provide order. Even harmful systems reduce chaos. And for the human mind, predictable discomfort often feels safer than unpredictable freedom. Cognitive dissonance is the tension that appears when reality conflicts with belief. It is not simply discomfort. It is a psychological signal that something no longer aligns. When a system causes harm, acknowledging that harm threatens identity. Beliefs are rarely just opinions. They are tied to belonging, morality, and self-image. Accepting that a system is harmful often means accepting that one's past decisions were wrong, that loyalty was misplaced, and that trust was invested incorrectly. For the mind, this realization can feel more painful than the harm itself. To reduce dissonance, people rarely abandon the belief. Instead, they reinterpret reality. Harm becomes necessary. Failure becomes temporary. Contradictions become exceptions. Evidence that challenges the system is reframed as exaggeration, misunderstanding, or hostility. This process is not conscious deception. It is psychological self-protection. The mind seeks consistency more than truth. Systems that persist despite harm often do so not because they are convincing, but because abandoning them would fracture identity. Cognitive dissonance does not ask, "Is this system harmful?" It asks, "Who am I if it is?" And when the cost of identity change is high, defense becomes easier than revision. The system remains intact, not through force, but through internal negotiation. Human identity is not formed in isolation. From early life, individuals define themselves through family, culture, beliefs, and social roles. These structures provide orientation. They answer fundamental questions. Who am I? Where do I belong? What is expected of me? Systems do not simply organize society, they offer identity. Belonging satisfies a deep psychological need. Being part of a group provides safety, meaning, and validation. When a system becomes linked to identity, criticism of that system feels personal. Questioning the structure begins to feel like questioning the self. At this point, defending the system is no longer a rational choice. It becomes an emotional necessity. Psychological research shows that people protect identity-based beliefs more strongly than factual beliefs. Evidence that threatens identity is often ignored or reframed. This is not dishonesty, it is self-preservation. To abandon a system may require abandoning social roles, relationships, and self-image. Leaving a system is rarely neutral. It can mean social isolation, loss of status, or uncertainty about the future. For many, the system may be harmful, but it is familiar, and familiarity often feels safer than freedom without structure. Systems persist not only through control, but through identity. When identity and structure merge, resistance to change increases. People may defend systems that limit them because those systems tell them who they are. Understanding this dynamic shifts the question from blame to awareness. Uncertainty is one of the most powerful psychological stressors. The human mind evolved to prioritize predictability over comfort. A known threat feels safer than an unknown possibility. This is why people often remain in systems that cause discomfort, limitation, or harm. The system may be flawed, but it is familiar. Familiarity reduces anxiety. Even when conditions are difficult, predictability creates a sense of control. Leaving a system requires imagining an alternative, and imagination introduces uncertainty. What if the alternative is worse? What if it fails? What if identity, stability, or social standing is lost? These questions activate fear, not logic. Fear does not evaluate outcomes, it evaluates risk. And the unknown always appears riskier than the familiar. Systems persist not because they are optimal, but because they reduce uncertainty. Even harmful systems offer structure, routines, and expectations. This structure provides psychological relief. Under uncertainty, people often seek authority, rules, and clear frameworks. These elements promise stability, they reduce cognitive load, and they protect individuals from the anxiety of constant decision-making. As a result, defending a system becomes a way to defend emotional safety. Criticizing the system threatens not only structure, but the illusion of control. In uncertain environments, stability feels more valuable than improvement. This is why change is often resisted, even when change is necessary. Fear of uncertainty does not mean people prefer harm. It means they prefer what they can predict. And until uncertainty feels manageable, even damaging systems will be protected. Most systems do not rely on force to sustain themselves. They rely on incentives. Social approval, belonging, status, safety. These rewards are powerful regulators of behavior. Humans are social beings. Acceptance is not a luxury, it is a psychological need. When individuals align with dominant systems, they are often rewarded, subtly or explicitly. Praise reinforces conformity. Recognition reinforces loyalty. Silence reinforces stability. The opposite is also true. Questioning systems carries social cost. Doubt is often framed as disruption. Skepticism becomes disloyalty, and isolation becomes the consequence. These mechanisms rarely feel coercive. There are no visible punishments, no explicit threats. Only small signals, less approval, less trust, less inclusion. Over time, individuals learn which beliefs are rewarded and which are discouraged. Adaptation follows naturally. Defense of the system becomes automatic. Importantly, this process does not require belief. It only requires participation. Many people defend systems not because they fully agree, but because dissent is costly. Social rewards create emotional alignment. Punishment creates self-censorship. Together, they regulate behavior more efficiently than rules. From the inside, this feels like choice. From the outside, it appears like conformity. The system does not need universal belief, only widespread compliance. Over time, defense becomes identity. To question the system begins to feel like questioning oneself. And so the system is protected, not by force, but by fear of exclusion. In this way, harmful systems persist, not because everyone supports them, but because the cost of resistance feels higher than the cost of compliance.
Harm is rarely experienced as sudden collapse. It is usually introduced gradually, slowly enough that each step feels tolerable. What would have been unacceptable at once becomes acceptable over time. Discomfort normalizes when it is predictable. Humans adapt remarkably well, even to conditions that reduce their well-being. When discomfort is stable, it feels safer than uncertainty. Systems do not require people to feel good. They only require people to adjust. Over time, coping strategies replace resistance. People stop asking whether something is harmful and start asking how to survive within it. Language shifts. Stress becomes normal. Exhaustion becomes part of life. Injustice becomes just how things are. When discomfort is shared collectively, it feels less like harm and more like reality. Comparison plays a key role. As long as others endure the same conditions, suffering feels justified. Normalization removes urgency. If pain is constant, it fades into the background of awareness. This does not eliminate harm, it conceals it. Systems benefit when people mistake endurance for strength. Endurance is reframed as virtue. Adaptation becomes loyalty, and silence becomes stability. The longer discomfort persists, the harder it becomes to imagine alternatives. Harmful systems survive not because they are invisible, but because they become familiar.
Most people do not defend harmful systems because they are unaware of the harm. They defend them because those systems are framed as morally necessary. Moral framing transforms practical outcomes into ethical obligations. What causes damage becomes justified by intention. What creates inequality becomes explained as fairness. What limits freedom becomes protection. Once a system is moralized, questioning it no longer feels neutral. Doubt begins to feel irresponsible. Criticism feels dangerous. Moral framing simplifies complex realities into stories of good and bad. It offers clarity in place of uncertainty. People are not asked whether a system works, they are asked whether they are good people. And when identity becomes linked to moral alignment, defending the system feels like defending oneself. Harm becomes invisible when it is distributed slowly, when consequences are abstract, when responsibility is shared. Moral narratives do not eliminate suffering, they reclassify it. Sacrifice becomes virtue, obedience becomes duty, silence becomes loyalty. Over time, people stop evaluating outcomes. They evaluate intentions.
And once intention replaces impact, systems become immune to critique. Moral framing does not require lies, it requires emphasis. Certain values are highlighted, others fade into the background. What is excluded becomes unthinkable. This is why intelligent, compassionate people can sincerely defend systems that harm them, not because they lack empathy, but because morality has been shaped to protect structure, not people.
Awareness often comes late. People realize that systems they defend cause harm, but understanding does not instantly create change. The mind resists acknowledging cost because it has invested in routines, beliefs, and relationships. Leaving a system is rarely free. Costs are emotional, social, and sometimes financial. Relationships may fracture, familiar structures disappear, and uncertainty rises. These invisible costs often outweigh perceived benefits of leaving. Rationalization helps maintain consistency. People justify staying, reshaping reality to reduce cognitive dissonance. It's not that bad. This is normal. Others would do the same. These thoughts are survival mechanisms for the psyche. Awareness is the first step. Reflection, small experiments, and understanding incentives can gradually reduce dependence on harmful systems. Change is rarely dramatic, but even small shifts improve autonomy and well-being. Systems shape behavior subtly. Awareness reveals influence. Exit is costly but possible, and reflection restores agency. Understanding the cost of staying and the cost of leaving allows conscious choice.